Hi, my name is Nathan Reedy, and I'm going to share my story of why I'm a fighter just like you. 2008, I lost everything. I remember going to lunch with a friend one day. We were both freelancers, working for ourselves, doing web development. I had also been an entrepreneur for a couple of years. I had bought a few properties and I had invested in some businesses by helping them get started. We go to this lunch and I take out my company line of credit and I go to swipe a $12 lunch on my card and the card comes back to $9. And this had never happened before. I wasn't too concerned. It was something along the lines of going, well, maybe my card was demagnetized or whatnot. My friend gladly covered the bill. I went home about my day and I went to go check my bank statement. What I found out was that the amount of credit that I had had on my card was completely dropped to zero availability. And I got really, really scared because I have invoices that I need to collect from clients. I have rents that come due from my rental properties and those kinds of things. When I had called the bank, they had basically said that there was so much credit out there in the world that people were using, they were starting to abuse it, and that in order to go ahead and maintain the safety of their banking economics or whatever it was, that they had to go ahead and reduce it to whatever balance I actually owed on my card, which wasn't a lot. This was the beginning of the credit crunch in 2008, which also led to the real estate bubble popping around 2009 and thereafter. This date, this lunch, this particular set of circumstances completely changed my life, and I was about to experience the worst pains I think I had ever felt. I'd worked really hard in my 20s to go ahead and get to a place where I was close to financial freedom, being a partner in a business that was doing well, having a couple of different properties, including the house that I had bought when I was 22, I believe. Everything was going down the tubes. I had renters squatting in properties, not paying rent. I was being sued by people. I had followed through with all the rules, all the things that they told you they should do. I read all the books, the Tony Robbins of the world, Stephen Covey's, Robert Kiyosaki, Robert Greene. I'd read everything, considered myself somebody who was pretty educated. But no amount of education was going to prepare me for what I was about to go ahead and go through. By about 2011, I had actually lost everything. The house that I lived in, the properties I had invested in. I had been sued. I had been on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars that I didn't know where I was going to go ahead and come up from it from seemingly random places. I had had money stolen from me for services that were supposed to help fix my situation. And on top of that, I was in debt to friends and family for about $15,000. My father was shacked up in bed at home with a complication to his surgery, and my grandmother was passing away. I was in full contingency chaos dealing with mode. I was completely baffled. I didn't understand how I could have gotten myself in this situation. Everything had been going so right for so many years and things were doing well. Now, if you watch films like recently, like The Big Short, the movie itself a couple years ago, and the documentary that is actually out now, it's just now starting to go ahead and explain all the things that led up to the issues that happened back then, and how basically other people's greed and lust for money and those kinds of things led up to lies after lies and created a huge economic crash. I was at the peak of everything when all that happened. And then I found myself many years later basically riding a couch, working infinite hours, no money, no trust, no security, nothing. Having to decide whether or not I was going to buy peanut butter to get myself through the week or aspirin for the headache that I had because of being up so long. What do you do in a set of circumstances like that? I don't really know. I think that inside of every single one of us, there is something that wants to be successful and wants to move forward. I'm going to guess if you're watching this, if there's somebody has followed this campaign, you're somebody who's a fighter as well. And so I think that we do the best that we can. I'd love to sit here and tell you that it was some sort of magic. I've had supreme confidence in myself and just knew all the right answers and all the things that I was going to go ahead and do. But I have to tell you that I think most of those stories that come about, that we gratify, that we put on a pedestal, the heroes that saved the day and all those kinds of things, I think most of that is crap. I was terrified. I had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this set of situations, but I knew that my only option was to be able to succeed or perish. And I'm going to guess a lot of people that are fighters in the traditional everyday sense, the people that are dealing with struggling with bills or paying their mortgage or a health issue, a weight issue, we're all struggling through something. Those are the everyday fighters of the world. And so I did the only thing that I knew how to. I worked my butt off. See, it's interesting to me that we live in a world where we gratify and give all the kudos to the successes of life, when most of the time the successes that I see people attain have been after years and years and years of grinding at whatever it is that they're doing. These are just common, humble people that have pursued something. They have ground out and worked their butt off, and then when they attain success, what happens is there's all the media coverage, there's all the bombardment and all the accolades and the pats on the shoulders and all those kinds of things. This one point in a timeline of massive amounts of work is not the end all be all. It's the people that are willing to get up every day, to face the problems, to do the best they can, to be authentic, to have character, to have integrity, to hold to morals and principles when there's really not anything out there encouraging them to do so. Those are the real fighters. And I guess if you're watching this, then that's who you are as well. I gotta tell you that I was sued in court so many times. I learned just by being there. Once those situations dealt with themselves, the taxmen came calling for money that seemed to be created out of nowhere. I had no idea that I would even be obligated to. But the things that frustrated me and made me most concerned were the amount of money that I owed to my friends and family. Something that I considered blood money. Money against my integrity, my personal credit as a human being. And we also live in a world that doesn't seem to value that either. And it was tempting to go ahead and just kind of shy away from dealing with it. But there was something inside of me, whether it was guilt or whatever, frustration, inspiration, there was just no way I could go ahead and let this go. I worked 2 jobs full-time for about 5 years before I was finally free of the obligations. Now that 5 years is probably the most horrible 5 years of my life. I gained all the way up to 250 pounds in terms of weight because I was working so much, sitting in a car, bad food, all these other kinds. I was massively depressed. I didn't know how I was going to go ahead and make it through. I just knew that every hour that I worked, that just getting up and moving in a direction of want towards fixing something would eventually get me there. Whatever you're going through is going to be a catalyst for change. It's going to be a catalyst for you being a better person, be more evolved, more in tune with yourself authentically, your character, who you are as a person. You're going to be able to relate to other people better. You're going to be able to share your experience with people that you can maybe inspire. You can show them the ropes, point the pitfalls out for them, help them be successful faster. So don't give up. Do not give up. At the end of the day, do not give up. Don't cop out on yourself. Don't say that I shouldn't have to deal with these circumstances. This is not fair. It's not fair. Most of these situations are not fair. It may not be your fault, but unfortunately, it's your responsibility. And so it's better for you to embrace that responsibility and move forward with it, removing all the shoulds that you can out of your life. It shouldn't be there for you to pick up. Pieces shouldn't have crumbled, but they did. And it's your turn, it's your time to go ahead and embrace this, be a fighter, and move forward and push through it. Took me 5 years to work through. I was overweight, I was unhappy, but I finally had my set of circumstances, at least in my mind, come to a conclusion. It was Christmas a few years ago, and I was actually able to take the last couple $1,000s in cash that I owed my family, my father specifically, my father and my stepmother specifically, who had taken the risk with me before all of this stuff went to hell, and put it in a checkbox, put a note on it. Actually, it would look more like a certificate, and give it back to them on a Christmas day. Now, I've since lost the video, but I remember it very vividly. It was the last present I had saved. I wanted to go make sure that they opened it last. It's a little small box, and they go to open it, and they pull out this giant stack of money. I can't remember if it was hundreds or 20s, but they immediately had a look of awe on their face. And as they started to go ahead and read the certificate, or the certificate / thank you, they both basically burst into tears. I'm going to tell you that the level of relief from all the emotional buildup and the concern about my disappointment to them, the fact that my integrity and my personal credit, my word as it were, being restored all in that moment, it was probably one of the best successes that I can think of having in my life to date. And it didn't manifest itself in some sort of object or whatever else. Really what it was a faith restored of risks that somebody else didn't need to take. The faith that they had in me, it was basically saying to them, come hell or high water, I value this from you. The certificate said something along the lines of, this certificate is for the redemption of one man's integrity. And thank you so much for your faith in me. And thank you so much for your patience and your care along this path and this pain that we've all experienced together. That this balance has now been paid in full. It was a good day. It was a very good day. There are good days to come. You may not feel like it now, but as long as you persevere, as long as you follow through, as long as you keep evolving, as long as you keep embracing that pain and moving forward, you will have better days ahead. For the people that have experienced what I'm talking about, congratulations. This is the iteration of life. You're going to struggle, you're going to persevere, you're going to make it through, and you'll have your day in the sun, you'll have your day in redemption, you'll have your day in success and overcoming. That is what this whole campaign is about, to be a fighter, and you're all fighters, I can guarantee it. Thank you so much for letting me share my story with you. I share it because I know there are other people out there that might have experienced something similar, and they're down on themselves. It took a lot of support, and I've got a lot of amazing people around me, the people that hug me every day, regardless of my circumstances. I'm sure there are people like that in your life as well, your support system, the reasons why you do it. And so congratulations to you, whether you're in the struggle, have overcome the struggle, and on to your next struggle. Continue to be a fighter.